let's play with some chunking. How about it?
All right.
Yeah? Okay. Here's what I'd like to talk about. If you chunk down, what do you get? Problems. If you chunk up, what do you get?
Roses.
Solutions. Roses. Okay? Solutions. Roses. Okay? Stuff. Or we'll just say bad stuff. The smaller we chunk, the more bad stuff is there. If we focus on the details, we're bound to find problems. You know what? Even if they aren't even there. If we go looking for the little stuff that's in the way, they'll become problems. If we look at it and keep our eye on the end goal and the reasons we want it, we stay grounded in the positive. Once in a while, of course, we have to delve down into the little specifics so that we can deal with stuff and then come back up into the bigger picture. The key is having the flexibility to come out of this and jump back up to here. And for the visionary, once in a while you find an executive who can't get things done because they stay up here too much and can't delve down when they need to and then come back up to here to where they belong most of the time. I see Lydia as someone who can do that. Am I right or wrong? Okay, she's nodding. I would agree. Okay, just from what I've known about in terms of the way we've spoken together, I hear clues about people's ability to jump down or not. Okay, so problems do occur. We have to deal with them, and then it's important to come back up here. Okay, as opposed to the engineers and the problem solvers, this gentleman has already taught himself that he needs to be down here for a lot of his job, but then when he goes home, he needs to be more towards here. And he needs the flexibility. He forced himself, he trained himself to come back out. So, a lot of NLP is about breaking stuck states. And chunking, or the inability to, is a form of stuck state, isn't it? Really? You stay stuck in your problems, right? So what we really want to do is to teach people how to chunk up and chunk down when they need to, but to have the flexibility to chunk in any direction at will. Now here's something else that's kind of cool about chunking. If I want to take a vacuous big goal or outcome and actually ground it in the practical, what do I need to do? Who agrees or disagrees?
What's the example?
I take a big, vacuous, 20,000-foot view goal, and I want to get down into the pragmatic, into the practical.
Chunk down.
Okay? All right, so I want to be able to chunk down in some cases. And, of course, if I want to appeal to people's values, appeal to their better results, what do I want to do? Chunk up. Now, I can talk about how, I know that there were certain specific exercises during the course of this particular workshop where most people got good results, and maybe each of you, during one particular exercise or another, may have found that you were faltering and didn't get the results that everybody else seemed to be getting, and that's okay. If, in the grand scheme of things, you know that you're learning. Okay? Now, as you're learning, even if one particular example is overshadowed by a majority of examples of where you do get a result, I think you're learning pretty well. And I think that as you think about how well you learn overall, I think you can apply this to circumstances outside of this seminar to where you know that you as a human being are capable of profound growth and development. And people who are capable of profound growth and development are the true movers and shakers of this world. And so in a way, I congratulate you for taking such a wondrous step towards what you want in this life, because far too few people actually do that. So count yourselves not lucky, but gifted in that respect. And when people who have gifts to share go back out into the world and spread those gifts in a way that benefits you and them, you and others, immensely, far beyond the particular value of a given transaction or the particular time you spent in a given location, but that as part of an ongoing plan to grow and develop and become better and more skilled and more enjoying of life around you. I just think that's where wisdom meets pragmatic experiences. Now, all of that I just said was word salad, was a form of chunking up and delivering and appealing to values at each higher and higher chunk, wasn't it? I kept getting higher and higher and higher and higher, pointing out all the value that's there, that's available to each person as they chunk up. Now, who's not motivated about using what they've learned? Well, okay, that's the question, really. Because when you chunk up, delivering value, 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 bigger and bigger and bigger all the way up, and pointing that out in your chunking process, it's very difficult for somebody to come back after hearing this and go, but Jonathan, you still haven't answered my question from day one when I wasn't sure whether you needed to cover visual and auditory at the same time. Right? How irrelevant is that when we've gone this route?
We're so chunked up right now, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, there you go. We're so chunked up right now, it's ridiculous. So that's the nature of this process. It is a form of motivating. Now, I can start from the grand scale and I can get you all unmotivated. I could do that.
Please don't.
I won't. Maybe I'll get you unmotivated to forget, or unmotivated to go home and not use your actual skills. Let's try that one, okay? I know that all of you are kind of riding on a big high right now because you know your futures are big and bright in front of you. It's just amazing how, as you think about ways to use all these skills, you just know the world is yours. I mean, Yoda is back there already going, ooh, I wonder where I'm going. You know? So all the futures that you hold in front of you, all of the outcomes, all the people that you're going to meet and enjoy your company, and the good that you're going to be able to do for yourself and for them in their lives. Isn't it amazing how, if you take a moment to think of perhaps a few times out in the future where you might not use your skills, okay? Right? Well, if you might not use your skills, that could lead to specific circumstances where you would want to draw upon all the skill that you would get from practicing, but if you didn't practice, you wouldn't get them. I can think of a specific time. Maybe there's some anchoring that you would want to use. You might actually want to use it in a very specific circumstance, but because you didn't practice it 3 or 4 times between now and then, you found yourself in that situation totally unable to use it with accuracy. Right? Okay. But what I really want you to do is not to practice. Okay. Because if you don't practice, of course, then of course, down the line, you find yourself wanting to come to more seminars. Refreshing without having gotten any skills, and how unmotivated not to practice can I make you? On the other hand, if you go home and you practice, and you pick a few times in which you might want to use these skills, specific times, right? I want you to pick 3 times over the next week with specific people in mind that you're either going to pick up the phone or you're going to talk to them, okay? Or you're going to be there and you're going to think, oh. And the old brain, the lizard brain back there is going to say, I'm going to use my NLP skills now. And you're going to kick in with a language pattern to overcome an objection, or maybe you're going to get rapport with someone, deep, profound rapport, so that all the wheels are greased for whatever result you have in mind. And maybe the results of that will lead to even more business or better conversations afterwards, or maybe they'll share something with you they never would have shared before. And who knows what can happen after that. Because when more people start sharing more intimate information with you, you get to a deeper level of intimacy with them. You get to a deeper level of connection. The more deep connections you experience with people around you, the warmer your life gets. You're going to feel like a more valuable human being. You're going to feel like you're truly on your journey. But that's only if you practice. Now, what did I do? I chunked up the whole first time, then I chunked down hoping to demotivate you or unmotivate you about not practicing, and then, of course, motivating you to practice again, higher and higher and higher. It's really wild how you can move and motivate and manipulate an audience or another person into doing something that's wonderful for them. By directing their attention, chunking up, appealing to higher, better values, or intentionally chunking down, appealing to all the problems, just to unmotivate.